Malvern Tram Depot first opened in 1910 as part of the Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust. Despite the name, the depot is not actually located in the suburb of Malvern, rather being located in Armadale. Malvern Depot has a rather unusual layout as it is split down the middle by Codboy Road. Codboy Road was a through road despite it running through the middle of the depot until 2005 when it was closed off to through traffic. There are 17 roads at Malvern Depot, 5 in the southern shed and 9 in the northern shed. There are also an additional 3 roads located between the sheds on Coldboy Road. However, trams are not usually stabled here during the day as it is also used as a staff car park as the depot lacks a proper car park. The southern shed is where the maintenance on trams is undertaken, while the northern shed is exclusively for stabling trams, with the exception of 16 Road, which is used to wash trams. All tracks narrow to a brief single track exiting the depot, which then splits into a northbound curve and southbound curve into Glenferrie Road for trams running in and out of the depot. As of late 2024, Malvern Depot has a fleet of 81 trams, which include the entire fleet of all 38 low-floor D1 class trams, as well as 43 high-floor Z3 class trams. Malvern Depot currently operates 4 routes, those being the 5, 6, 16 and the 72. Route 58 was also operated out of Malvern Depot until December 2021. So that's the layout of the depot, but how do trams use the depot? Well, trams running out to Route 5 will turn south down Glenferrie Road, then either utilise the northeast curve at Wattletree Road or continue south down Glenferrie Road, then turning up Dandenong Road depending on the direction of the run-in or run-out. Trams running out to Route 6 and 72 both turn north up Glenferrie Road, with Route 6 using the 2 curves at High Street and Route 72 proceeding further north to Malvern Road to utilise the curves there. Trams running out to Route 16 just make use of the curves into the depot from Glenferrie Road, as Glenferrie Road carries the Route 16. Now that we know how the depot is used, let's take a brief look at the routes operated out of Malvern Depot. Route 5 begins at Melbourne University, running down Swanston Street through the CBD. After leaving the CBD, Route 5 runs down St Kilda Road with an interchange for Route 1, followed by another interchange with Route 58 at Anzac Station. Following Anzac Station, Route 5 continues down St Kilda Road, interchanging with Route 72 and 6 before reaching St Kilda Junction, where it turns into Queensway along with Route 64. If you wish to learn more about Queensway, I have made a separate video covering this section in more detail. Route 5 then crosses Chapel Street, which carries Route 78. Route 5 then continues down Dandenong Road, sharing trackage of Route 64 as far as Wattletree Road, where it finally parts away with Route 64 as it turns down Wattletree Road to head towards Malvern. Route 5 passes over the Frankston, Cranbourne and East Pakenham lines, however with no connection. Route 5 then crosses the Route 16 at Glenferrie Road, which is the closest stop to connect to the railway lines mentioned, as Malvern Station is a nearby walk from here. Finally, Route 5 runs down Wattletree Road for another 2 kilometres, crossing over Taronga Road before reaching the Malvern terminus at Burke Road. One interesting thing about Route 5 is that after 6:30 PM it actually doubles as a Route 64 service, as Route 64 does not run the full route after 6:30. So after 6:30 you'll usually see trams with the destination 5/64 to Malvern and East Brighton. Next up we have Route 6. Route 6 begins in Glen Iris at the intersection of High Street and Malvern Road. Route 6 utilises High Street, running all the way to the western end of High Street at St Kilda Road, passing through Armadale on the way. Route 6 parallels Route 5 and 72 for much of the southern section, as High Street runs parallel to Wattletree Road, which carries Route 5, as well as Malvern Road, which carries Route 72. On the way to St Kilda Road, Route 6 has interchanges with Route 16 at Glenferrie Road, the Frankston, Cranbourne and East Pakenham lines at Armadale Station, Route 78 at Chapel Street and Sandringham line trains at Paran Station. Route 6 then turns into St Kilda Road, following other St Kilda Road trams into the city and onto Melbourne University, including Route 5 and 16, as well as Route 72 coming in from Commercial Road. Route 6 is one of two tram routes on Swanston Street to continue north of Melbourne University, along with Route 1. Route 6 briefly runs along Elgin Street and then into Lygon Street, sharing trackage with Route 1 for most of the northern section. Unusually on Lygon Street, there are two stops which can only be accessed by jaywalking. Route 6 eventually parts way with Route 1 as it turns into Moreland Road to interchange with Route 19 and Sydney Road, then terminating at Moreland Station. A unique feature about Route 6 is that trams run into Brunswick Tram Depot to wait for the next service towards Glen Iris. Unlike other Malvern routes, Route 6 is a shared route, being operated out of both Malvern and Brunswick Depot. It is one of 3 routes on the network to be operated out of 2 depots. Route 6 also has the largest variety of trams out of all routes, with 4 types of trams running on it. D1 and Z3 class trams are provided from Malvern Depot, while Brunswick provides D2 and B2 class trams, as well as the occasional Z. The third Malvern route to discuss is Route 16. Route 16 forms a weird U-shape due to its indirectness. Route 16 runs from Melbourne University to Kew, following Route 5 as far as St Kilda Junction, before turning into Fitzroy Street to head towards St Kilda Beach. Route 16 shares trackage with Route 96 from St Kilda Junction and passes the Route 12 terminus at the end of Park Street. Route 16 then runs along the Esplanade, passing by Luna Park, then heading out onto Carlisle Street. Route 16 then crosses St Kilda Road again, interchanging with Route 67, and from here shares trackage with Route 3. Route 16 then has interchanges with Route 78 at Chapel Street and Sandringham line trains at Balaclava Station. The 16 then runs along Balaclava Road, continuing to share trackage with Route 3. The 16 then reaches Balaclava Junction, the only Grand Union on the network. At Balaclava Junction, Route 16 turns into Hawthorn Road, sharing trackage with Route 64. A very weird feature on Hawthorn Road is that the city-bound direction for Route 16 and 64 are in opposite directions, with Route 64 trams to the city heading north, while Route 16 trams to the city head south. The 16 then briefly turns into Dandenong Road and then into Glenferrie Road, interchanging with the Frankston, Cranbourne and East Pakenham lines at Malvern Station. Route 16 then interchanges with Route 5 at Wattle Tree Road, then passes by Malvern Tram Depot and then crosses Route 6 at High Street, Route 72 at Malvern Road, and then passes by the Route 58 terminus at Toorak Road. Next, Route 16 crosses one of only 2 remaining tram squares at Kooyong Station. Finally, Route 16 interchanges with Route 70 and 75 at Riversdale Road, then Glenferrie Station, and then terminates at the end of Glenferrie Road at Coffin Road in Kew, interchanging with Route 109. Finally, we have Route 72. Similar to Route 16, the 72 is also a U-shaped route. The 72 begins at Melbourne University, following Route 5, 6 and 16 as far as Commercial Road, where it then turns into Commercial Road when it passes by the Alfred Hospital. Route 72 then passes over the Sandringham line, however with no great connection. Just like other Malvern routes, the 72 interchanges with Route 78 at Chapel Street. The 72 then interchanges with the Frankston line at Toorak Station. The 72 then crosses Route 16 at Glenferrie Road, then turns into Burke Road, interchanging with the Glen Waverley line at Gardner Station. Gardner Station featured a tram square until its grade separation in early 2016. Finally, Route 72 passes through the busy Camberwell Junction, interchanging with Route 70 and 75, then trains at Camberwell Station, before terminating next to the 109 at Whitehorse Road. Usually when a tram route terminates next to another tram route, the routes are connected by a curved track even if it's not used very often. This, however, is not the case here, as there is no physical connection for trams in Burke Road to Whitehorse Road. So that's Malvern Tram Depot. one of 8 routes in Melbourne and one that plays a major part in serving the Swanston Street and St Kilda Road tram corridor. With that, thank you for watching to the end of this video.